Hello everyone, this is a quick crash course on a web application I've been creating for the last 6 or 7 weeks. It's called Docu-Gen, and Docu-Gen is an application designed to generate a PDF document. You can add your own styles, you can um, edit and add SVGs and images and all sorts of cool stuff. So I'm just going to do a quick run through on this video, and in the future I'll have some more specific tutorials coming out. So this will just be a quick run through. Anyway, let's click on new document. Oh, and before we do, the URL to get here is docu-gen.com. So like this, but with a dash between here. And there's also no www, just docu-gen.com. Okay, so we click on this on new document, and it will take us to this tree map right here. And let's just take a look at the top menu here. So we have tree map, we have style editor, SVG editor, save and load to look at first. Tree map is this sort of organizational view of your document, and it will look at one page at a time. So let's look at what happens if we add a page. We can click on this, and it will come up with a general section of different page sizes here. So if we wanted to add another A4, we click on A, and then find A4, click confirm. And that will give us two A4 pages since we started with one. If we want to add something different, we can, of course, go and look at different pages here. So we could add a legal for an example here. And this will actually jump to the page, as you can see right here. Since we added 3 pages, we're on page 3. And that just means that our tree map here is going to be looking at page 3. But these all look very similar right here since we haven't done anything on any of them. To delete, just click on delete and type in DE, just kind of a fail safe there in case you accidentally click it. Okay, and let's look at a few other things on this top row before we get into using it. So let's actually add one more page briefly here. And I want to show that you can look at a single page at a time. So if you have a giant document and you just want to look at one page, you can click on this, click on page, and it will only render that one page of that document. So if you're going through and making all sorts of edits to page 2, then you can click on this view. Otherwise, you can look at your whole document like this. This is a preferred measurement view. So if you want most of your styles to be in points, then you would have it on points. And percents right here and so on. So there's points, percent, inches, centimeters, and millimeters. And you're not restricted to using this, but when you get into your styles and you open up a style, this is what it will default to if it's able to. This right here is just a kind of ratio view selector. So if you want to look at it in 60-40, so 60% goes to the tree map, and 40 goes to the document, or 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, and complete view of the tree map here. Now let's look at just kind of maybe the style editor next. We're going to delete this page 2, and let's add a column and another column. So there's 2 columns here. And what we're going to do on this column is we're going to apply a style. And the first thing that we're going to do is just apply one that's already been made here. It's a default style called temporary color. So we're going to hit this little plus button right here. And then we're going to create a new style, and we're going to call this style left column. And it will take us all the way to our style editor. So when we go into our style editor, we have access to all these different CSS options here. We can click on, for example, we already have a color applied to this column, so let's do size instead so we can start seeing it. We'll open up width, and let's go over to VW, which stands for viewport width. And since this is a document editor, viewport width, or VW, stands for the page width. So if we bring this up to, say, 35, that'll be 35% of the page width. The height by default will just be as much as it can. So now let's actually apply a color that we want. So we'll go to slate, we'll click on 900, we'll click on the background, and then that will apply that background color to it. And we'll do slate 50 for the text. So there's no text yet, so we won't be able to see it. If we wanted to, we could also add some colors for the border. So if we say, let's do something that stands out here. We'll do indigo and 500. If we click the center, then we get an indigo border around every single edge. But just to show as an example, we can also apply it one color per edge here. And we won't see this here until we go in and add an actual border. And we're not going to actually use this, but just to show that this is how it would work, this is how you would get your borders to show. Is you'd go into border, click on width, and start adding in your sizes and stuff here. As a quick aside here too, as you're making your styles to use, you can also click on this little link button, and anything that's linked together, like left and right, you can edit at the same time. So for things like borders, it's probably pretty helpful, and margin and that kind of thing. Or you can edit them one at a time by clicking on the link, and you can just work on one at a time like that. Okay, so back to what we're actually doing on this though. Let's go back to our colors. Just as a quick run through on what the colors are doing, you have all of these options on the left, and anytime you click on them, it will open up more options in the middle to look at. So you have quite a few options here. These are all based on tailwind colors. And so if we click on this X, we can remove that style that we applied. Not that we really need to, but we can also adjust the opacity. So if we wanted to reapply Slate 900 with like 50% opacity, we can do that. And we get this less opaque view there. And if we wanted to apply a color to the text decoration, we could do it here too. So anything like a strike through or an underline, if you wanted like a red underline or strike through, you could apply that here. And yeah, anyway, that's enough looking at colors here for now. So let's go back to the tree map, and let's go ahead and maybe add a row inside of this column. And let's add an SVG. So what we'll do is we'll click on Add SVG. I'll click on Upload SVG, and it will give us this little box here. And I actually have somewhere on my other monitor here, if I can find it. Here we go. We have a flux capacitor SVG. We're going to drop that right into here. And we get this little option here. Just to show as an example of what happens if you have more SVGs, we're going to drop the exact same one in again. And there you go. You would have 2. And as you add more, you'll have access to those. So we're going to click on this. It's going to add it. And you can already see there's a bit of a problem. It's completely black. So it's very hard to see against the slate background here. So we have an SVG editor. If you click on your SVG editor, you'll get a list of all of the SVGs that you added. You want to click on the one that you want to edit, and you can click on the color you want, and then we can click on stroke and fill, or just one, whichever you want to do, and hit apply, and it will apply that color to that singular path there of the SVG. And it will also work with gradient SVGs and SVGs with other types of shapes like rectangles and circles and all the other stuff that SVGs can use. Let's give this a little bit of a darker color here, like 300 or maybe even 400. And we'll do that here too. And yeah, 400 kind of blends into the background here because I think that's the same color as the background here. But that's fine, I think. Yeah, let's do 300. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks all right. Now, let's go ahead and go back to the tree map again. And on our SVG, it's inside of a row, okay? And what we actually want to do is we want to get this centered and also make it smaller. But in order to do that, we're going to need to add a row to this row. And I'm going to copy this SVG, and I'm going to bring it over into this row here. And then I'm going to delete this original one here. Okay, so what this will enable us to do is keep the width of this row to 100%, but this one we can downsize a little bit. So let's go to style here, and we're just going to call this one like maybe oh, we can make it a general size, I guess. So let's do 75% width or something like that. We'll give it that name. That's fine. And then let's go to size width. Let's go to percent. Let's hit max. And by the way, when you hit max, for at least percent, you can go higher than 100, but we're going to drop this down to 75. And as you can see, we're off center here, but that's fine. So that's why we put it in another row, because now we can go to this. We'll create one called flex center. And we'll click on flex, justify content, center. And there we go. And if we wanted to, we could throw in padding top on that flex center style as well, but let's make a new one for that. So we'll call this one padding top. Let's just do, I don't know what value we're going to give it yet, but we'll just call this one like 8. We'll try to stay true to that. Let's go to M and P top, and we're on margin now. I guess margin's fine, but we called it padding top, so we'll use padding. So top, and let's do, I think we said 8, right? Let's bring that up to 8. You can also type in here, by the way, so if you don't want to click buttons, you can hit backspace and then type whatever you want to type here. And we said 8. I'll try to stick to that. So here's 8. Okay, and then let's see. Let's maybe go back here. Oh, I don't think I really talked about this a whole lot yet. Just as a quick example, as you can see, everything we open is on our default value, but of course you can switch it to whatever you want. But watch what happens when we bring this to, let's say, centimeters. As we open these up to use them, they will default to centimeter. So that's just designed to maybe give some less clicking to everyone. So if you're wanting to use centimeters most of the time, then you just keep this on centimeter, and then as you're creating your styles, then that's what it will default to. Okay, let's go back to the tree map here. So the next thing is, let's go ahead and add some text. This will be inside of our column, and I guess should we do a column inside of a column? I think we will. We'll do column, and then let's do text. And let's just call this one skills. We're going to do like at least part of a fake resume for Marty McFly from Back to the Future here. So what we'll do, we could actually apply styles directly to this text, or if you want document-wide styles, then you can apply those styles to your master document. So what we'll do is we'll say create new style here on the master document, and we're just going to call this one general text style. And let's go to text. We'll turn on font size. We have this at centimeter. We're actually at a point though. And let's bring this up to say 16. In general, we'll be at 16-point font. And let's use this Montserrat font family. And in general, we'll be at 400 font weight. And that's good for a general setting at least. So now every font we use will have this by default until we change it. Now let's go into this one, and we'll actually make this one a bit bigger since it's more of a title. So let's call this one left column title. We'll hit enter. And let's center this one. So we'll go to text, spacing, and let's do center. Let's do decoration. We'll do underline. Underline is fine, but if we wanted to, we could also give this one like a wide underline by using border. So let's try that. Let's do border, bottom, and if you want, you can go super small here by, you can do millimeter and do like 0.1, and you'll get a very small one, but we won't be able to see it quite yet. Let's see, at least I don't think we can. Yeah, we need more. So it's also hard to see because of the color here, so let's give it a different color. Let's do color, and let's do, let's do slate 50, okay. Oh, sorry, that's background. We want, there we go. A little easier to see. Let's do a complete white underline there. I think we just need a little bit more width on that. So let's go back to border and uh, let's do 0.2. Still too small, I think. Maybe something like that's okay. So 0.3 millimeters, it's very, very thin. Um, Now, let's also do maybe a little bit of margin. So we'll just do this on the right, so it's kind of like it doesn't go all the way to the end. I think we can do it this way. Never mind, we can't. Scratch that. Sorry, I'm still learning my CSS, I guess. Oh, sorry, that's because we're on... No, okay, I guess that's right. So how would we do that, actually? I think we would cut the size down on this. So maybe something like we'd want to max this out, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. That's fine. So this is for the left column title anyway, so we'd want this one to have the max width. But I guess if we wanted to do like our own underline sort of style here, we'd probably create like another row, stick it under this, and then mess around with that. But let's not worry about that too much. Okay, so we'll go back to the tree map, and let's actually give this column a little bit of padding as well. So we'll just call this like a left column section. Make sure these all have a little bit of padding on the top. Padding top 20, maybe that's too much, but it's okay, I guess. Go back to tree map, and let's add some more text here. All right, so since this is a column, you'll notice that as we write anything here, so Martin McFly can play guitar, it will appear under, right? So if we did a row instead, then of course everything that we wrote inside of the row would happen one after the other, just to show an example of that really quick. So here's A, and let's add another text. This one will be B. I'm hitting Shift Enter to import, or not to import, but to finish the text editing. But if you want, you can also just click on this done here. That works just fine. Okay, so we have A and B here, and as you notice, that actually kind of smushed our little column down. So what we want to do here is probably define a width for this column. And I think we have, what is it here? It's left column 35 BW. So I bet if we put 65 on this one, then it would act a little better here. Let's give it a shot. So style. Let's create the right column. Let's do size. Let's go to VW and let's do, we can type it, I guess, 65. There we go. So now that kind of forces this to take up only 65% of the page, and this one still has its 35. Okay, let's just kind of look at one more thing here, and that is going to be the way to reverse stuff. So you'll notice if you look through the style editor, there is no column or row reverse, but that's just because it's pretty quick to click this, and it will reverse your row. So A and B will then be reversed. But I think you would have to do like flex end if you did that. And then same with column. If you hit this, then it will reverse everything. So now your logo would be down here, and everything would start building up instead of building down. And you can deactivate that just by clicking either on this again or on the little reverse symbol here. What else? Is there anything else that's super important? Trying to keep this fairly quick. I know we're running up on 20 minutes here, but let's talk about saving and loading really quick and maybe look at images, and we'll call it good for the crash course. So if we hit save, what it will do is it will actually save this into a JSON file. And a JSON file, if you don't know, is a text file. So it's, or essentially a text file at least. So you can see that we have some dolly images that I've used for the DeLorean, which we'll use here in a second. So let's go ahead and we'll hit load here. And what we're going to do is grab one of those. I've been planning for this Marty McFly tutorial for a bit. So see, I took some notes on him. But I think either one of these is fine, except for we want a PNG. It only accepts PNG or JPEG for the images. Um, oh, I'm sorry. I was getting so mixed up. We're loading. We're not doing images. We want this one, I believe. Is this the one we just did? Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do is I'm actually gonna cut out of this. I'm gonna refresh. So all of our stuff is gone. We're gonna hit load. We'll load this up and boom, we're back. So pretty quick. Let's go ahead and add in an image now. So in this row 2, I guess. Yeah, let's go ahead and delete the text. We'll add an image here. Upload an image, and this works just like it does on the SVGs, except for there's no no real editor for the images. It's just you apply styles to them like you do with everything else. So let's drag this over. And now you'll have a drop-down list of all of your images, right? So if we click this, then it will stick the image in there, and it will take up as much space as it can at first. It's all squeezed like this, so we probably want to go in and style that here. So I think what we want to do is go here, and let's just downsize this a little bit. Let's do, let's see, I have not messed with images so much in CSS, but basically we have this image styling here. So you can do none, contain, cover, fill, scale down, I guess we'll use there. And then you can also just go in and you can also put in your width and height and stuff like that. But this is probably pretty good for the crash course for now, I think. I do want to mention that this is the first kind of giant, or at least giant for me. This is the first project I've made that I've put on a website and everything. So I'm hoping that it all works smoothly and everything. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions on it. My email you can find right here, and if you return to homepage here, by the way, then you're not going to lose your stuff. It's right here. But do make sure to save before going away from the page if you use this, because you will lose everything if you don't save. And is there anything else to talk about? I feel like I'm forgetting something. What is it? I think that maybe that's good. Um, I guess briefly here, just to show off a few more things, you can copy entire sections. So if you're copying your column here and you paste it into your page, for example, then you'll get that entire other section just showing up here. Oh, I remember what I wanted to say now. Okay, let's delete this column here. So pretty important, if you go in and look at your styles here, you can move them around. So for example, this temporary color, if we move it down, then you'll see that that temporary color on this style takes over. And it's because they both have a background color property. Left column style has a background right here, and temporary color has a background right here. So they're different, right? But it will apply the last one if there's a duplicate. So for example, it is applying left column and it is applying temporary color. It's applying all of this, and then it's going through this and it says, oh, look, we found background color again. Let's apply that again. And it overwrites. So just like normal CSS. But yeah, we can remove this and it will go back down into our available styles. So you can see everything we've created here is available for use again. And that's useful if you're going on and going to be adding your same styles over to other sections on other pages and all sorts of stuff like that. Okay, I think that's good for now. So I'll have some more, hopefully more specific tutorials out soon, but I hope this is at least a good start. Thanks. I'll see you next time.